How you doing, guys? It's Tom. I'm back with another video. It is All Saints Day, November 1st. This was a hugely long weekend for a lot of Filipinos out there because I think it was Monday was election day, although not presidential election, just kind of local elections, like barangays and stuff like that. But that's like a holiday now, which is really good. It should be that way in the US, in my opinion. People shouldn't have to worry about, oh, I don't have time to vote. I work 12 hours and by the time I get there, it's closed. It should be a holiday, you know. It's not that frequent, right? Like, same thing in the US, whether it's every 2 years or every 4 years, whether it's local or whether it's presidential, either way, I mean, it should be a holiday. I agree with that. Anyway, and then now yesterday was Halloween. Today was, like I said, All Saints Day. Tomorrow, November 2nd, is All Souls Day, which is it's a holiday. I mean, basically Monday was a holiday. Yesterday really wasn't a holiday, Halloween. And then today and tomorrow are holidays. So it's kind of a short work week, at least if you have like a government job here in the Philippines or any kind of, you know, like our management office, I think, was also closed on those days, except for Halloween. So anyway, but yeah, I wanted to talk about different options that you may want to consider, when you're going to come here to live in the Philippines, right? Um, like if you're living, for example, it's almost like it's like a yin and yang, right? Like if you're living in the province here, right? You're definitely going to want to you're going to want some civilization, like at least once a week probably, or maybe more. To like go to the store, in other words, go to the nearest city, okay? And, for to buy your grocery needs or whatever, right? And it'll be kind of a nice break, because even though there might be some traffic, if you're in a smaller city, it's not going to be shouldn't be terrible. But it will be sort of like, a little activity. It'll be something that's a little more lively than maybe the day-to-day provincial life that you might be living. So, so definitely, like I said, you're going to want to sort of probably at least once a week and maybe twice a week. I don't know. Where you're going to want to kind of get out there and, maybe get into the nearest city, whether it's not that huge of a city or whatever. It could be 100,000 people, it could be half a million, whatever or it could be Manila. If you're living in a provincial area outside Manila or whatever, or Cebu. But it's just something that you're going to definitely want to do, you know, when you come here. I mean, like you're going to be probably looking forward to it. I guess that's my point. Obviously, you might say, oh, yeah, well, we have to go shopping, right? Yeah, but there's markets. You can go to the markets here, okay, in the Philippines. And you know what? I would definitely recommend it for fruits and vegetables. However, you're going to want to stay home and have your wife or girlfriend, if she's a Filipina, go to the market. Because if you go with her, a lot of these, there's no prices marked on these items. And when they see you, it's like, ding, ding, ding. The price is going to go from 40 to 60, for example, pesos, per kilo or whatever. Just an example. So you're going to want her to go anyway. But, if you go to like a regular grocery store in a mall or something, then you can go with your wife together. And like I said, it'd be kind of a nice break for you, or a nice sort of a little injection of civilization for you guys if you're sort of living in the province, right? And on the flip side, if you're living in a city, especially a big city, you're definitely going to want to, like, if you can, go. And if you're like retired, if you're, or whatever, mostly retired, and you can do this, I'm telling you, you're going to want to probably go somewhere every 3 months. And that doesn't necessarily mean outside the Philippines. You could just go to another part of the Philippines, like a nice beach, beach area, even if it's a semi-tourist area, But if it's nice, and it'd be a nice break from the city. You know what I mean? And ideally, in my opinion, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to do this yet. As frequent as I would have liked to. But I've only been here for about 16 months or whatever, something like that. And we've been on a couple of trips. Maybe three actually, but that's not too bad. But ideally, right? I would say if you're living in a city, especially Manila, you are definitely going to want to go somewhere like somewhere else. Whether you fly there, another part of the Philippines, another island, or even up north, to Baguio or whatever, somewhere like that. You're going to want to do that like every 3 months and take like 1 week. Okay. 1 week off, 1 week somewhere else, like every 3 months. I mean, that's what I would recommend. It's my opinion. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just saying, like, I think that would do wonders for your mental health. um, and like I said, on the flip side, if you're in the province and you're just like so maybe it's quiet or maybe it's just nothing, there's not much civilization around and stuff like that. You're gonna look forward to going into the nearest city, like at least once a week. You know what I mean? For maybe half a day, or whatever, But you're also, guess what? That could apply. The same city rule could apply to you in the province, where every 3 months you may want to go somewhere else, just like a vacation. You know what I mean? For like a week. You know, I think you're definitely gonna want to do that too. Either way, right? But anyway, I just wanted to sort of inject some information on you guys, and it's just my opinion, but I think it's something that you guys might be interested in doing, and you'll feel it out for yourself, once you're living here for a while. That yeah, that's a good idea, and again, man, you could go to another country, you know what I mean, for a week, right? You can go to Thailand, you go to Vietnam, you go to Malaysia, Indonesia, whatever, right? You could do that. Um, Although with your girlfriend and wife, I think Thailand is easier, as far as the countries where a Filipina can go with just a passport and stuff. I believe Thailand is one of the countries. Um, but anyway, you could do a little research on that yourself, and yeah. Also, well, as you guys probably know, especially if you're in the U.S., I know there was a mass shooting in Maine. I think it was 18 people killed and like several hospitalized. Mass shooting, another mass shooting, and of course the next day, the guy, they were on his tail. This guy, and he had mental health problems too. He was in a mental health facility for a couple of weeks, and unfortunately, nobody was able to relieve him of his weapons before he went on this rampage. And unfortunately, now we have some deceased victims and their families that suffer, after long afterwards from the loss of these people, right? So anyway, but this guy killed himself, of course, which is what they usually do. Um, and you know what? Um, I just read an article yesterday that a guy in Colorado appeared to be all geared up to go on a rampage. He was heavily armed. He had all kinds of, flak jackets, and all kinds of military, clothing on and all that stuff. I mean, he was like ready to do something bad, and he decided to kill himself first, which I wish all these other guys would have done the same, right? And saved all these innocent lives. I mean, obviously, the ideal thing is I wish these guys would have got the mental health help that they needed, you know, to prevent all of that stuff, prevent, mass killings or a suicide. But obviously, that doesn't always happen, right? or people don't always get the help that they need. You it's terrible. So anyway, I'm over here, but I get all the news over here, and that's another thing. When you're living over here, man, you can access everything. Like whether it's from off of YouTube or just news apps or whatever you want, but you'll be able to keep apprised of the news and the sports and everything in the U.S. even when you're living here, and the weather if you're interested. If you're interested in seeing how bad the weather is, though, in the U.S. where you used to live, and you can kind of laugh a little bit at it. But anyway, guys, that's about it. I just wanted to mention these few things, and I hope you guys carry on in a positive manner. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, I'll see you later.